days. You know, Jose Mourinho has some history, doesn't he? When he was at Manchester United, for example, look at the way he dealt with or treated Luke Shaw, for example. After one particular game, he said that Luke Shaw's body was on the pitch, but I talked him through the game. Basically saying that Luke Shaw didn't understand the game. Look at Luke Shaw now under the management of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for example. Have a look at what's happened at Spurs with Dele Alli, for example. Now, I don't care what anybody says. Dele Alli is a great talent, an excellent player, was playing fantastically at Spurs under Pochettino. Pochettino's style of management, very different to Mourinho. Yes, Mourinho's had a fantastic career, has won so much at so many different clubs, but I'm not sure his man management now suits the way the game is. I think it's a little bit more about love and putting your arm around players and building their confidence to get the best out of them, and actually playing hardball with players, which is the way I see Mourinho doing it. Playing hardball doesn't work with the players. You could argue, well, the players have gone soft these days. Maybe so. But actually, if you're the head coach, if you're the manager, you have to do whatever gets the best out of your players. And since Mourinho has been at Spurs, he hasn't got as much out of his players at Spurs as Pochettino got out of his players during his time at Tottenham.
Stephen, what do you think? Do you think Jose Mourinho is the problem here at Spurs?
It's hard to say if he's the problem, but some players need the tough love. Some players need an arm around the shoulder. I agree with Gary on the Dele Alli situation. It's not so good to have a talented player not being part of the team. You can see they miss a bit of creativity. Him and Kane had a good link up. We definitely don't know what's the problem between the two, the manager and the player. So, but at the end of the day, the manager have to get the best out of that group of players, and at the moment it's not working. They're definitely not gone forward where Pochettino left them. I think they've taken 2 steps back.
Do you think his management style, that very hard pressing style, is just something that just doesn't work with players these days, Stephen?
Yeah, I think the game have changed. Obviously, Mourinho still got a bit of. He's a great manager. Don't get me wrong, but the game has changed. You have to move with the times to get the best out of your players. You have to get them on board, otherwise they won't run to a wall for you.
Michelle, can I just say that if Mourinho is a winner, and of course, in a week's time, he has a League Cup final, so he just might deliver the first trophy for Spurs since 2008. And that will give them their second trophy in 22 years. That's how bad it's been at Spurs, to be honest with you. But if you look at Pochettino's 5 seasons at Spurs, they finished 5th, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Then it fell away and Mourinho came in. And at the end of Mourinho's season, they finished 6th. And at the moment, they're 7th in the table. So if you have a look at Mourinho's half a season and this full season to date, he hasn't got the team, or they are currently not in a position that compares with what Pochettino did over 5 years. So Mourinho is the winner. Mourinho's come in to take a talented group of players, apparently, to the next stage. Stephen, do you think I'm being a little bit harsh on Mourinho?
No, I think you're right. You're a little bit harsh. Not. if you look at the stats, obviously they haven't gone forward, and that's the disappointing part of it. Obviously, getting into a cup final, it's good if he delivers it. Then maybe they'll say, yeah, we've got our first trophy in 22 years. It's not good enough. They played 2 years ago in a cup final, in the Champions League final. With it, mainly most of the players are still there. So it is, you're not harsh on him. I think they haven't moved forward.
Well, but the other argument is, Gary, perhaps those players have peaked under Pochettino in that time frame. It just so happened that they've already peaked. Are you on board with that idea?
Well, again, of course, there's two sides to this debate, this dispute, whatever you want to call it. And ultimately, yes, the players go on the pitch. But also ultimately, the man responsible for results, the man responsible for form, the man responsible for the style of play is your head coach. And that's why they get paid the big bucks. And of course, that's why they get hired and they get fired, of course. Who's delivered for Spurs this season consistently? Harry Kane, yes. I would say Son, yes. I think Lloris has got back to close to his best across the bulk of the season. I think Højbjerg has been a great signing for them. Then it starts to fall away for me. So I've just named you 4 players who I think across the season have delivered consistently. You play with 11. That means that something like close to 70% of your team haven't consistently delivered. No wonder Spurs aren't in the European places. So, yeah, of course, players have a responsibility. Yes, of course, players have to perform. So it's a combination. And to me, the kind of the mix, the togetherness that you need in order to be highly successful isn't at Spurs at the moment.
Is Jose Mourinho's position at Spurs in any danger, Gary?
I don't think so, no, believe it or not. Because, number one, he's hugely well paid and he's got multiple years left on his contract. So to say goodbye to him, it costs the club a huge amount of money in a time when, like every club, they are bleeding financially because nobody's coming through the turnstile. This world pandemic couldn't have come at a worse time for Tottenham Football Club, having just invested more money than they've ever invested in infrastructure, i.e. building a 60,000 plus stadium, which would increase their match day revenues through the roof because 60,000 would be coming week in, week out. And guess what? Nobody's coming week in and week out. So I would think, like all the clubs, Spurs are really financially strapped. I'll give you the next one, and that is that Mourinho is a proven winner. He's won at every club he's been at. So actually, keep him at Spurs long enough, and he's going to win. That will be going through the head, I'm sure, of Daniel Levy. And actually, in a week's time, Spurs might be a trophy winner, but I don't fancy him too much in the League Cup final against Manchester City, to be honest with you. So I think they definitely give Mourinho next season as well.